Greetings and welcome back for this week's Fireside Chat. Thanks so much for joining me and continuing the conversation. A bit of a change of pace today. I'm standing instead of sitting. It seems in some way a bit less fireside-y, but I wanted to make sure I got in the Moynihan and Spinello trophies, and it was easiest to do that with them standing next to me because I'm going to come back to them, and the Block X ceremony is going to form the basis of some of our conversation today. But I want to begin where I begun for the last few weeks with real thanks. Thanks for your joining me. Thanks for really the conversation. Because while I'm talking now, those notes, the emails, the calls continue to come in, and I'm tremendously grateful for that. And they cross the spectrum. I had a lovely note from a friend of Xavier, Tom McGinty, who helped us pull together what became Fernandez Domenico Hall. And Tom's been really just a great personal support for me here and a great supporter of Xavier, he and his wife Madonna, and grateful for that. Got a lovely note from Will Peloso, a class of 19, graduated last year. Will's down at UNC now, and he's a fencer. And I happened to, in preparation for our conversation today, just look at the UNC, at the Chapel Hill fencing roster. He's one of 5 Jesuit high school grads on that fencing team. One from Loyola here in New York, one from McQuaid in Rochester, where my old friend Bob Reiser is the president, one from St. Ignatius in Cleveland, one from Berlin. Again, those Jesuit connections driving us forward. And then the breadth and depth, right? Notes from California. Dick Ryan's out in Palm Desert. Dick's class of 47. And Dick was reflecting on, he remembers FDR. He remembers the original Fireside Chats. And he remains grateful for what we're doing at Xavier. Roy Van Brunt in Florida. And again, pretty regular notes from Roy. I'm not alone. He shares them with others, but often with reflections on the state we find ourselves in, on our response as people with faith, on our praying together. Grateful to Roy for his ongoing support. We gave out the Pat Rooney Scholarship, which Roy was so instrumental in building. Armando Nunez from California, transitioning in his role at CBS, where he's been such a great leader and a great supporter of ours from the West Coast. Beyond Xavier, John's good friend, Gordon Farley. John, Gordon, and I had a terrific conversation. They were at Regis together. Gordon's in med school now. And we were talking about COVID-19 connections, these chats. Jim Hayburn from the class of 62 and his wife Penny are in Hong Kong. I look forward to them being home and to really the dedication of the Cook Library that Jim and Penny have helped make possible by their creativity and their generosity. Named after Donald Cook of the class of 52, Medal of Honor winner. In my Memorial Day message the other day, several of Colonel Cook's classmates reached out to me, remembering him in gratitude and thanksgiving. But Jim Hayburn picked something up, and I always hope the stuff behind me intrigues folks, whichever way I'm shooting, because it's great Xavier stuff. Much of it given to me by Xavier students or family members or other mementos of my time here. But Jim was wondering about the Read, Rise, Resist sign, which was up on the corner. And I picked this up a few months back when I was out in Portland. I said to Matt Thomas, who is on our faculty, and unpaid advertisement, the author of a terrific book, which really got great notice when it was published a few years back, We Are Not Ourselves. And I asked Matt if he'd ever been to Portland, and I asked him for suggestions. And he said, go to Powell's. It's a national treasure. Huge independent bookstore. But this caught my eye, Read, Rise, Resist. Seems to me, if we're going to rise and resist things, reading and knowing what we're talking about before we start is a good thing. So others may find other curiosities behind me. If the Earharts are looking carefully, they will see a lovely picture of the boys that they gave me a while back there. And so many others connecting. Dan Rodriguez and George Feblis and Dick Cleary. And really through the years and through the distance. Great note from Mrs. Struthers, mother of 3 boys, just reflecting on her time and the boys' time here. So keep the conversation going, and thank you for that. This past week, last week was one full of activity. We had board committee meetings, we had the senior night, we had Block X, which I'll come to, and we had the conclusion of faculty visits to seniors, to deliver gifts and to spend some time together, to be present, right, where this normal end of senior year is not happening, but still trying to celebrate seniors and be together. And group, Ms. Lisa Pasillos, our Director of Student Activities, Ms. Margaret Gonzalez, Ms. Jean Sherman, Mike Chifulio, they spearheaded this. And really Alicia, Jean, Margaret. Other faculty members jumped in to help put together gift bags, and then dozens and dozens and dozens of faculty members made visits to students' homes, from Virginia up to the Catskills, out west to Pennsylvania, right? Covered everything, the 5 boroughs, New Jersey, Long Island, right? To have a little time, properly social distanced, with the seniors, right? Remind them of what binds us, remind us of the loving care for them, remind us of community. And they got a host of things, right? They got a Xavier Class of 2020 poster that can be laminated for the lawn or put in a window. They got t-shirts. Xavier Strong, Class of 2020, and a reminder on the back, right, that Xavier has seen, and Xavier students and Xavier seniors have seen all sorts of things. Some real tragic events, some horrible events, wars and storms and other such things, and attacks. And okay, this is a different, right? This pandemic is different, but not what we expected, right? Not good. Yet we get through this. We're resilient. We march on. The shirt's a reminder of that. There's also the Xavier chocolate bar. They were Starburst. I ate them this week before we recorded. So lots going on. In some ways, it feels normal, right? I may be alone here, but the activity, the work of seniors and faculty and board members and connection to alums and families through the distance, these weeks seem very much normal, year-end, busy, energetic, joyful weeks, which will culminate in the Celebrate Xavier Gala this weekend. So I want to speak about 2 things today. I'm going to speak about history, and I want to speak about community, the sense of we do things together. We make the mission real together. And the Block X Award ceremony, which we celebrated last week and streamed out to folks, is a great reminder of that. Because while things have changed from dinners in the Waldorf to celebrations in the gym, a lot of things have remained the same. I want to read you some of my remarks. I always enter this ceremony very conscious that we at Xavier now are part of a great history and a great story. The names on these awards, the people they're named after: Bill Wood, Edward Spinello, Bernard Moynihan, Pat Rooney, Leo Paquin, Peter Arabia, and so many others, represent great heroes in our nation and at Xavier. Men who made sacrifices in war and peace, men who worked to build this institution and keep her strong. What we do today at the Block X ceremony, but really what we hopefully do every day, is we honor their legacy. And if you were to read the names on the awards, right, not only great memories, but a reminder of the great contributions students make to the work and the life of the place. And the fact that leaders here often go off to be leaders beyond in so many ways. On the Spinello Award, you'll see Manal Patel's name. His son Dylan is here now. Tom Tweedy, General Tony Cuccolo, Father Mike Suarez. And Mike directs the great books, the Rare Books program, down at the University of Virginia, one of the world's leading experts on rare books, and entered the society and and has worked at Fordham and, as I said, now at UVA. Mickey Corso, Mickey, who helped us great exercise in rewriting the mission statement. The mission remained the same, but our words, right, capturing that, had us update that a few years ago. Two of our board members, Brian Purnell and Nelson Fernandez, Spinello Award winners. Jeff Cole, who continues to serve the nation with distinction in the Army. On the Moynihan Award, same thing, right? The Moynihan going to the outstanding student athlete at Xavier. General Randy Cabero won it in 57. Randy is legendary, not only for his exploits on the field, but off as well, right? Turkey Bowl exploits, one of the early classes at the Air Force Academy, played there, was dean of the faculty at the Air Force Academy, wonderful career. Brian Kiley, who played with our current board chair, Dan Denahan. Patrick Nielsen's on there. Pat's the son of Mike and Diana Nielsen, great Xavier supporters, and the brother of Mike. Right? And I got a note from Mike Sr., Mike the dad, a few weeks back now, sharing great news. Mike had been in Afghanistan, West Point grad, currently on active duty, and came home to meet his daughter, Faith, born to Christina and Mike when Mike was away, met her for the first time when he got home. Right? Great joy in the midst of this complication. Right? Evan Bernstein and Greg Dolan are there, current faculty members, old coaches, and then current coaches, Dan Steffens and Mike Petrie and James Capabianca. Right? Stephen Ryan's there. His dad Joe won the award, great father-son combination. And I had a real honor 4 years ago of presenting that to Christian as well. So the history of the institution is commemorated in events and ceremonies like the Block X, in awards and trophies, and it's really written in our own hearts. Right? We contribute to the history, we're sent forth, and we continue to live the history. And our living that history, living that mission, is what we do now as we move through this COVID-19. I want to return once more to my remarks that day, right? Saying some things change, but then there's consistency. What remains consistent is this community joining together to celebrate the best of Xavier, the spirit, the friendship, the love made real, shoulder to shoulder on the rifle range, drilling on the C-building roof, face to face across a chessboard, side by side on a defensive line, linked together in a scrum, playing man-to-man defense against Regis, Fordham Prep, or another worthy opponent, editing the yearbook, writing for the review or the lexicon, playing in a jazz ensemble, singing in a chorus, traipsing across the stage, leading a retreat, or engaging in so many other activities. And what remains constant is we do all these things together, encouraging, supporting, and inspiring one another. We do so conscious that none of us succeed without the support and encouragement, without the work and dedication of teammates and partners in our activities. We gain no yards without good blocks. We edit no stories without good writers. We have no leads without supporting casts, no plays without crews, no bands without roadies. I commented the other day about the readings after Easter and that great sense in the early church of community that Luke writes about in Acts. Right? That together, whether it's blocking for someone running, whether it's setting someone up with a pass, whether it's doing a great job in a chorus or an ensemble so the stars can shine, or whether it's doing our part that allows others to do their part. That's the strength of community. It's one of the great strengths of Xavier. That's one of the ways we get through this. I'm recording this before I'm about to go off to our weekly Mass, our Tuesday Mass, and we invited intentions from some of our alums as we try to reach out a bit more and then sort of phase this in. And beautiful response, right? Of great desires, of praying for one another, saying we remain in this together. Great history, terrific community, together make the mission real. And we keep doing that. Thanks again for being with us. Sons of Xavier, keep marching.